Claustrophobic record is the ideal Future and Metro Boomin record. When I think of Future with Metro Boomin, Claustrophobic is what you get. Top of the top, episode 243, Stash House Podcast. Your boy Tyler checking in. First time listeners, thank y'all for tuning in. If you tune in weekly, salute. And it's just your first time checking out the podcast, saw some topics you may want to hear about, thank you as well. Podcasts available on all podcast streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Subscribe, leave comments, reviews. If you're watching this video on YouTube, please like this video. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Check out Stash House Podcast. I appreciate everything y'all do to help support this podcast. Hope everyone had a great week, great weekend. Do the same this upcoming week. To start things off, back in the music world, a lot to talk about in the music world, obviously. But we're going to start with Future, Metro Boomin, We Don't Trust You album, 17 records. Features, we got The Weeknd, Travis Scott, Playboi Carti, Kendrick Lamar, Young Thug, and Rick Ross. Once again, Future, Metro Boomin, We Don't Trust You. I've been waiting on this project for a while. I've been waiting on those two guys to reconnect. One of the best artist-producer tandems in the game, definitely within the past decade or so, in my opinion. And I'm glad we finally got this project. A lot of noise surrounding this album over the weekend, but I don't think I saw too many people talk about the actual album. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about today's world when you got certain features or certain records or just the overall vibe of the album. Sometimes the actual aspect of is it a good album or not kind of get pushed to the back. So I want to start with talking about the album overall. Kudos to Future and Metro Boomin. I want to say this year in October will make it 10 years for the Monster mixtape that started the whole Future second run. So it's dope to see these guys back together, like I said before. The only thing I was probably concerned about going into this album, I didn't want Metro to overdo it in terms of production because, like I said last week, the Heroes vs. Villain project, the Spider-Man soundtrack he did, you can tell this is not the same Metro from the Monster days in 2014. So I just didn't want him to go in with the attitude of, now I'm going to really show everybody, you know what I'm saying, I'm one of the elite producers. Like, no, you've been one of the elite producers for a long time. And you with Future. You with Future. Like I said, those two, one of the best tandem of artists, producers in the game. You just do what you do with Future in terms of production, dark beats. Future come on doing what Future does on the Metro Boomin beat, and I'm satisfied. And I was satisfied with this project overall. I keep forgetting that it's another one coming next month. I don't know if it's going to have the same vibe as this one, but I wouldn't be mad if they just give us, you know what I'm saying, whatever left over in the chamber from these recording sessions. It sounds like I wanted it to sound. It takes me back to those days in 2014 when Monster dropped. I'm at Troy University, Peach Palmer Son era. It take me back like, okay, these are these guys 10 years later. It's crazy to think like, damn, that shit was 10 years ago. But overall, I was satisfied with this project. Future does what Future does on the Metro beat. Metro, like I said, he didn't overdo it. Some amazing samples throughout the project. They got sound bites from Prodigy, of Mobb Deep, the late great Prodigy. And I've been seeing clips from old DVDs and everything pop up on my timeline. And just like I said, the overall vibe of the album, because I'm going to talk about it more, obviously, later this episode if you've been hiding under a rock. A lot of different vibes been surrounding this album in terms of what's going on in the industry. And what I took from those Prodigy sound bites, because once again, I'm talking about a New York rapper from the point of view of a 30-year-old born and raised in Alabama, in the South, Georgia, you know what I'm saying? So from the looks of it, Prodigy, he had some beefs. You know what I'm saying? He with Mobb Deep would have it, but Prodigy beef with numerous amounts of New York artists back in the day. So just the overall vibe, and then the whole "we don't trust you" aspect, because the whole phrase, if Young Metro don't trust you, I'm going to shoot you. Like that whole thing, it played a part later on in this album, which, like I said, led to the discourse that kind of took away from the actual album. But I'm going to talk about that later. But sticking with this album once again, kudos. Easily for me, one of my favorite Future projects we got in a while. Like, it's jumped a lot of Future albums he's been dropping within the past few years. Just off the first weekend listens I've had. That's the vibe I look for Future. Like, when I think of Future, I think of Metro Boomin. Shit, after Future and Metro Boomin dropped these 2 albums, I wouldn't be mad if Future come back, hey, me and Zaytoven got something coming. Hey, me and Mike Will got something coming. Me and Southside got something. Like, those producers that Future locked in with early in his career, that's still the same sound I prefer to hear Future on. You know what I'm saying? And this coming from a guy who said, I preferred not to have no features on this project. I wasn't mad at the features. I wasn't mad at the feature placement. I wasn't mad at what the features did on the record. Overall, I was satisfied. And like I said, I keep forgetting, April 12th, we got another album coming. So I'm not sure, like I said last week, I'm not sure it's going to be a We Don't Trust You Part 2, a deluxe, an overall different album title. I'm curious to see because I feel like with everything that's transpired over this weekend, a lot can happen between now and April 12th. And I'm looking forward to it. The hip-hop game been kind of stale for a minute. Like, we have albums, of course, I do a podcast. We have albums I enjoy. But in terms of moments and, damn, I'm curious, kind of got me at the edge of my seat. What's going to happen? Is this person going to do something? Whoop-de-whoop. It's been the first time we felt something like this in a while. And like I said, as long as no violence or nothing like that come with it, we just stick to music, I'm cool with it. Once again, We Don't Trust You. My favorite records, Ice Attack. That's the Too Obsessed track I was talking about last week that I've been hearing snippets of over the past few months or whatever. And I did kind of get upset when the beat switched because I've been so used, it's called demoitis. Like, I've been so used to hearing that one part of the Too Obsessed snippet for so long, I thought the entire record was going to have that same beat, but they switched it up. But overall, Ice Attack, I thought about Gucci Mane when I heard that track name, Ice Attack. But overall, I do like that record. Type Shit featuring Travis Scott and Playboi Carti. Future found the real Travis Scott, the Travis Scott I've been looking for a while now, the Travis Scott I wanted to hear on Utopia, just the content he was talking about, the psychedelic vibe he got in, like I always say with him. And once again, Metro Boomin. You know, that's days before Rodeo, right? Travis and Metro first linked up. That's been a long-going collab for a while. So I really enjoyed what Travis did on that record. Playboi Carti, once again, a beat switch. Every time I think I'm going to get tired of a good beat switch, we have songs like Type Shit. We have albums like Schoolboy Q just dropped Blue Lips. With the beat switch, when done properly, is one of the best things going on in the hip-hop game. I'm not going to say who did it first or who did it better. I just like that trend of when it's done right, it is like a wake-up call, like, damn. Because I can see people listening to this album who not really in tune with Playboi Carti saying, who the hell is this? Not knowing, like, that's a new voice he been doing for the past few records he been dropping. Like, this a whole new vibe of bruh. So I'm not mad at what he did with that beat switch. They shot the video for it. But I will say, out of everything going on with this album over the weekend, just hearing that Travis Scott verse on that record, it was one of the highlights for me. Because that's exactly what I was saying with Utopia. I was like, you had glimpses of it, but this, like, the Travis Scott talk about the psychedelic vibe he go into and talk about drugs and whoop-de-whoop, that's the perfect example of that with that Type Shit verse. So definitely one of my favorites over the weekend, Type Shit. Claustrophobic. The Claustrophobic record is the ideal Future and Metro Boomin record. When I think of Future with Metro Boomin, Claustrophobic is what you get. Love that record. Like That. The Like That record featuring Kendrick Lamar. The electric bass sample, obviously me, that's the automatic, that's the Drop 3 Wayne. That's my first instinct. Whenever I hear that beat, I don't care if the original record, whatever. When I hear that, I think of Drop 3 Wayne. Shoot a nigga on the porch and make him fall in his kitchen. By the car being lined up and order some missiles. Like, that's what I think of when I hear that. I did love Metro's rendition of it, though. I do like what Metro did to it. First off, we got to give Future credit. Shout out to my boy Vontae. He put in the group chat over the weekend. Damn, man, I hate that, everybody talking about the Kendrick verse, because with this album, Future did what Future needed to do. Future came back with a vengeance in terms of just verses and hooks. You know what I'm saying? Because I can admit, when people say, it was a time where the production of songs kind of carried the record. Metro Boomin is one of those producers that started that trend of, hey, man, I don't know what these guys saying on records. The beat just hard, though. That's Metro. And Future, I think he got too comfortable because it was times where I used to say, man, I'm good with just the hook of a Future song and maybe one verse. Like Future, he got into the trend for me where I was like, I don't feel like hearing two or three Future verses on the record. Just give me the hook and a verse. But on this album, he really stepped it up in terms of carrying the verse all the way through. And like with those Metro beats, he going to keep you locked into the verse the whole time. But Future really stepped his game up on this album, man. And once again, going back to what works. Like I said, I understand artists want to do this whole change their sound up and try different things and different features. Cool. If it sound good, cool. But if it don't sound good to me, I'm always a fan of, bro, go back to what worked. We know what you and Metro can do. Even before Monster mixtape. You and Metro, that, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Future stepping his game up. And I say that because people talking about this Kendrick verse on the Like That record, but we got to talk about the hook, man. The Future hook on that, like, to go with that beat, Future killed that hook. Of course, the Kendrick Lamar verse, I'm going to talk about that separately because that's a whole Avengers Civil War thing going on. So I'm talking about that separately. Of course, y'all know I got to talk about it, though. But I do enjoy the Kendrick verse. Overall, I like That record. Slimed In, I really enjoy. Magic Don Juan, Princess Diana, that's come up over the weekend as a record to pay attention to with this whole, you know what I'm saying, situation going on. But I do enjoy that record. Fried, Ain't No Love, an early favorite. GTA could have been the one where I was like, once again, I didn't want to hear no features. But on this GTA record, I would love to see Young Nudie. I would love to see Key Glock. I would love to see Cheeky Sosa on that. That's that, whatever I'm with it too. Balenciaga and them sticks include. That's a hard record, that GTA record. What the Fuck You Mean Hard, and the last track, Where My Twin At, talking about Thug. I enjoy the album overall. It's one of the ones, once again, you dropped early in the year. A March release. I said it last week. Hey, the temperature of the spring and summer, they got to give me something, and they definitely did. Claustrophobic, like I said, one of the early favorites. Type Shit, Slimed In, GTA, Ain't No Love. Those records you have in rotation throughout spring, summer when you're making your moves, whether it's whatever you into. So overall, I was very, very satisfied with this We Don't Trust You album. But like I said before, it got overlooked by a little tension in hip-hop. Now let's rewind back, go back to the Like That record. Like I said before, the Kendrick Lamar verse, it's pros and cons to those hidden features. Because when I woke up, got on the timeline, before I even listened to the album, I was seeing Kendrick, Drake, Cole, Kendrick sending shots. You know, the headline that took away from the actual attention of the album, which I feel like Metro and Future knew that was going to happen. It's just situations where you're in the studio, you hear a verse together, you're like, okay, this is going to shake the internet up. We got our headline, we got our boosting numbers. They thinking like that, and we got an album in the tuck, too, coming in a couple more weeks, so cool. But shook up the internet, shook up the hip-hop world. Obviously, I feel like in our generation, everyone got their own person they rock with more than the other in terms of Kendrick, Drake, and Cole. I'm definitely more, like I said, Kendrick. I rock with Cole heavy, definitely within the past few years. Cole has probably, in terms of right now, Cole has probably got that number one spot. Just because he's been out more, doing more features throughout the years, albums. And I'm more Kendrick, but Kendrick did duck off from 2017 to 2022. You know what I'm saying? And Drake, he's been definitely miss. Like, Drake just been in the bubble for me where I'm like, bro, you just giving us 50% for the free throw line. You're giving us 25% from the floor. It's like, just relax. I said that after For All the Dogs. I said, bro, just relax. Like, he's still going. That's what I'm thinking. At the time I'm recording, nobody has sent the record out yet. Now, granted, Kendrick and Drake been doing subliminals for years, y'all. At this point, if it happens, cool. I doubt it. Cole is kind of involved now because of the whole Big Three. It's no Big Three, it's just Big Me, which I was talked about as well when For All the Dogs came out. That was like my number one most viewed clip on Instagram. People in my comments, No, Drake saying he number one. He's about to beat Michael Jackson. And I'm like, y'all, in the first verse, Drake says the big three, but it's me and Cole at the top. Woo-de-woo. Cole came back on the second verse and said, yeah, we the big three, but under Muhammad Ali. I said that on the clip. It's right there on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You can see it. And I was like, well, when Kendrick pop out, because he at that point now, like I said, since 2017, you just don't know when he's going to pop out. And he came with this verse. No, it's no big three. It's just me. Michael Jackson, this Prince outlived Michael Jackson. He was saying some things just as in a come outside record. Come outside. I'm knocking at your door once again. You know what I'm saying? And at this point, it's not a situation where I don't think Drake can ignore it. And at this point, if Drake or Cole respond, I want the song title at least in parentheses to say Kendrick Lamar response. I don't want no subliminal. I want it to be straightforward. I'm a fan of all three of these guys' music, but I'm also a huge fan of just lyrical exercise. I don't care if they all get on a record together and shoot at each other. I would enjoy that too. I'm not on the side of, Cole just got to do a Cole record, Drake just got to do. I don't care if Cole and Drake get on a record together and both shoot at Kendrick and Kendrick come back and shoot at both of them. I just want to see some lyrical exercise. That's it. Some back and forth. And I got a hot take. In 2024, if they do go back and forth, I don't think it'll be a winner or a loser. Yes, you're going to have people like me to dissect the bars and, he said this, he said that, he responded to this. But it's way more people in the world, I think, that just on some, I'm biased, I'm a Drake fan, Drake won. I'm biased, I'm a Cole fan, Cole won. I'm biased, I'm a Kendrick fan, Kendrick won. It's not going to be like a legit conversation. Of course, amongst your friends, you're going to have talks. But in terms of overall, these guys' legacies are cemented. They got number one albums, number one songs, sold out tours. Is it a win or a loser at this point? I think the only way you lose if you go back, you respond, he comes back, but you don't answer. That's the only way you take an L nowadays, if you just don't reply. But in terms of, he said this, he said that, I think this was better, that's only going to be a small percentage of us who have those intercourse, if this even happens. Like I said, Kendrick been throwing shots at Drake. Drake been throwing subliminals at Kendrick for years. We never really had a Kendrick Lamar diss record, Drake diss record, J. Cole diss record. And I doubt we get it. Because one, and you can credit Drake for this, I credit Drake for this all the way in terms of we really don't know when it's time or what's the qualifications in terms of the timing of your response. Because we so used to the whole Meat Mill tweet, Drake dropped a couple days ago, Drake came right back with back-to-back. Compared to back when Nas and Hov was doing it, that was probably mixtape days, so you got to find it, and who knows. I think they said Ether came out 6 months after Takeover or something like that. So what's the qualifications now? Like I said, at this point, I want the song track to be whatever title you got, but in parentheses, whoever you diss and put their name right there at this point. You know what I'm saying? But my overall thoughts on the verse, it's a cool come outside. You know what I'm saying? The whole Prince outlived Mike, that was a good twist on what he said on first-person shooter. But, I mean, if Benny and Freddie Gibbs don't give us lyrical exercise, I doubt Cole, Drake, and Kendrick. But it's a lot can happen. They got the Dreamville Fest, Drake on tour, and I think Kendrick just sitting back waiting. But I'll be surprised if something. I would love to see it because, like I said, the hip-hop game is stale. But I doubt it. I doubt anything will happen. I would love to see it, though, but I doubt it. And I'm not saying because Drake on tour and Cole in album mode, and I just don't. If it ain't happened in the past 10 years, cool. We finally got Goldberg versus Undertaker, but guess what, y'all? It was one of the worst matches in the history of professional wrestling. You know what I'm saying? So we could get it, but I'd be intrigued, but I would like to see Cole do something. Because that's like the middleman. It's like, okay, Kendrick and Drake don't rock with each other, but I'm sure Cole and Kendrick still rock. And, of course, Cole and Drake on tour. So I feel like Cole in the position where did he pick a side? And that goes to this whole Civil War thing. It's like, oh, so the people who was featured on Future album just don't rock with Drake no more. And I don't know, man. But I will hate the fact, once again, they say Future and Drake got an issue. I'm not sure what's the root of it. I don't know, man. It was a very interesting week in hip-hop. I hate that we all just don't have – I hate to say that one person or that one platform we go to is like instant, okay, we heard this album. Hey, y'all, we going live at 8 o'clock, YouTube, Instagram. Pull up, we're going to talk about it and just give different point of views of the situation. It's just so many podcasters, so many YouTube shows, so many TikTokers. It's like there's no one to really be like, all right, if it was a situation like, all right, we're going to bring Future on next week, then Drake go pull up, it's nowhere that's going to happen. And that would make this whole thing even weirder. These guys don't do interviews. So it's like we don't know what's going on. That's the crazy part about everything in music. If they do interviews, the same old question. They don't do interviews, we don't know what's going on. We just got to listen to the music and create our own narratives. And to sum all this up, to finish this, great album by Future and Metro. Kendrick, a good knock on the door to see if anybody answer. At the time I record, nobody's answered. But kudos to all these guys for just stepping on whatever Big Sean had coming. I told y'all, Big Sean, Meek Mill, and Wale are the three guys. I'm just like, I don't see a purpose in listening to them. I just don't. Could it change? Possibly. But I can tell y'all this, outside of just them Twitter clips, I didn't listen to Big Sean new song. Every Twitter clip I saw, the Big Sean record that he dropped, everybody responded with, oh, this is going to be the NBA playoffs theme song this year. Which is not a bad thing, but, I mean, you get your money, do what you do. But that just shows you how he came back. He's going to give us a NBA playoffs theme song. I mean, a few people did it. Cole had one. I'm sure Drake had a few. Kendrick probably had a few, but I want to see what's going to happen with this Big Three thing. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the whole We Don't Trust You campaign going on right now. Future and Metro, job well done. I'm looking forward to April 12th. And to wrap up this episode, talk about Sir, TDE artist, dropped a new project, Heavy, 16 records. Features, we got Ty Dolla $ign, Isaiah Rashad, Anderson .Paak, Ab-Soul, and Scripps Riley. Overall thoughts, man, I want to see TDE capitalize on the male R&B artists like they did with SZA. Because Sir is a very consistent artist. He had the November project in 2017. He had the Chasing Summer, which was very good in 2019. So Sir has been consistent, but like I said, his last album was 2019. He's been dropping records throughout the year, but I just feel like TDE hasn't put they all into him yet. I mean, it's kind of tough when you got SZA running the world right now. I get it, but, man, the marketing could have been better. He's been doing videos and shows, but it's like, y'all know they drop a record, drop a video, they do a live performance, and then you get the album, and you say, damn, I would have started with this record first over the one y'all chose. It was one of them. Like, he's been dropping, but I'm like, damn, bro, you had way better records on the album that probably could have got more attention than the ones you dropped. So that was the weird thing listening to this album. I'm like, damn, he would have dropped this earlier. I would have been like, okay, I'm ready for the Sir. I was ready for Sir album, but the records he was dropping, it didn't really have me like countdown ready for it. It's like, okay, it dropped same day as Future, same day as the Kendrick Lamar verse, so that was bad timing as well, especially being an R&B artist. Like, damn, everybody talking hip-hop. But the thing him and his team got to do now, take those records, the one with Anderson .Paak for sure, the Ty Dolla $ign record, I'm Not Perfect, he got records on here. I think they could just keep dropping videos, keep do acoustic videos, something like that, show his talent, you know what I'm saying? Like you've been doing with SZA. Even though SZA a little bit more, low-key, but we've seen what she's been doing with those selfie pictures, and she got a way of getting her fans still interacting with her in a certain way. With Sir, they just got to figure it out. He's a very talented artist, dope singer, great videos, great concepts to his records. I think he just need that attention more from the TDE camp. They got to figure it out with the R&B male artists. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Sir, the heavy album. Like I said, 16 records. Make sure y'all check it out. And this has been episode 243, Stash House Podcast. Make sure you guys go out. Have a great work week, great school week. Stay safe. Be aware of your surroundings. Drink plenty of water. Keep me in your prayers. I do the same for y'all. Salute.